I'm starting to suspect that Oleksandr Usyk and a former opponent of his, Michael Hunter, are going to turn over several of the big names in the heavyweight division over the next few years. Now, when it comes to Usyk, he's obviously the former undisputed cruiserweight champion, Olympic gold medalist. Everybody knows his pedigree. The only question people have is how well he can cope with the height, reach, size, and punching power of the heavyweights today. Because in terms of skill, everyone knows that Usyk has got more than enough skill on a pound-for-pound level to compete with any heavyweight. In fact, most people would say he's better than any heavyweight skill-wise. But can he deal with their size? Well, when he fought in the World Series of Boxing against Joe Joyce, he lit Joe Joyce up like a Christmas tree. Now, Joe Joyce is a very slow heavyweight, but he is powerful, he is strong, and Joe Joyce was very successful in the World Series of Boxing and in the amateurs, in the Olympics, etc. So I wouldn't just dismiss the Joe Joyce performance, by Usyk and say, oh, well, that's a slow Joyce. I think Usyk might be able to do something similar to a lot of heavyweights out there in the pros. Now, I've been kind of scratching my chin and mulling over how well I think Oleksandr Usyk is going to do against the big boys. And I've kind of been going back and forth. After some of his performances, like when he fought Michael Hunter, I was thinking, nah, there's no way this guy's going to go up there and beat AJ and Wilder. I can't see it. Then, he stopped Marco Huck. He had a majority decision over Bradis. And again, I was like, nah, I'm not so sure that he can do that much at heavyweight. Then he was able to go in there and totally outclass Gassiev. And I started thinking, you know what, maybe he can do something at heavyweight against the big boys. And of course, he managed to take out Tony Bellew. At this point, I think that Oleksandr Usyk can beat a lot of the top heavyweights. I think that he gives Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz, and Anthony Joshua all they can handle and then some. That's how I feel at this point. I think that stylistically, who would be the most difficult for Usyk out of those guys? I suspect it might be maybe Fury might be the most, but I still see Usyk giving Fury fits. I've spoken in a video before about how I think the way to beat Tyson Fury, or one of the ways to beat him, is actually not to go forward at him, but to move away and get Tyson Fury to come to you. That's how Tyson Fury got himself in trouble against Steve Cunningham, because he had a smaller guy with quicker feet and quick hands, with good range, who actually forced Tyson Fury to come looking for him. And if you put Tyson Fury in that situation, I'm telling you now, I'm predicting that he's going to struggle again. That if you've got a guy who's fleet-footed and small and elusive, who moves away from Fury, and, they're in and out, Fury is going to find it difficult. He's going to maybe get frustrated again and start getting clipped with shots. Yeah? Oleksandr Usyk might be the guy to do it. However, as I've said, Usyk, an Olympic gold medalist, a lot of people are expecting big things from him in the heavyweight division anyway. I mean, certainly if you look at Usyk and compare him to Joshua at this point, isn't Joshua a bit too clunky to be able to deal with Usyk's movement? Is Deontay Wilder a bit too one-dimensional to be able to deal with Usyk's all-round game? Deontay Wilder is a guy, again, who likes a stationary target. Look at all the problems that Artur Szpilka gave Deontay Wilder. Artur Szpilka is not like a poor man's Usyk. Szpilka is like a homeless man's Usyk. And I'm telling you, people, Szpilka gave Deontay Wilder lots of issues in that fight. Lots of issues. Many people believed Szpilka was ahead at the point where the KO occurred. Of course, the judges didn't have it that way, but what do you expect there? So I think Usyk has the potential to knock off several of the top names. But again, the problem is people know who Usyk is. He's a known quantity, and nobody's really going to underestimate underestimate him or overlook him at this point. Not unless he takes a loss or something and doesn't look good. Maybe he fights a Takam and struggles, and then one of the top heavyweights says, yeah, okay, I'll take on Usyk. And then all of a sudden, you know, that guy's not a pressure fighter and they're dealing with an Usyk who's moving all over the place and they can't handle it. So perhaps that's a scenario. But when it comes to Michael Hunter, he's not as well known as Usyk. Michael Hunter and his trainer Hasim Rahman, I'm not sure if Rahman also manages him, but he certainly, it says he manages here, Martin something. I'm not going to try and pronounce this name, but Hasim Rahman certainly trains him. And Hasim Rahman and Michael Hunter both believe that they were passed over by Eddie Hearn and AJ because Eddie Hearn, you know, in their view, Eddie Hearn knew that Hunter would beat AJ. Hunter, obviously a very different fighter than somebody like an Andy Ruiz, but he can move. He's got a good work rate. He's got a good boxing IQ. He took down one of AJ's sparring partners in Martin Bakole. Perhaps Eddie Hearn looked at that and AJ looked at that and thought, you know what? Not sure if we want this right now, particularly not as a late replacement. You know, we might want a full camp for somebody like Michael Hunter who's going to move so much and be so awkward. So I think, particularly against the more flat-footed heavyweights out there, Michael Hunter could be a problem. Yeah, I'm not expecting Michael Hunter or Oleksandr Usyk to go on and dominate the division. That's not what I'm expecting. But I am expecting, between the two of them, that they upset several of the big names out there. Yeah, several top 10 heavyweights are going to be upset, in my estimation, by Usyk and Hunter. Because they're small guys in an era of giants, and Hunter particularly is coming underneath the radar. He might take a fight at short notice. Again, similar situation, which I described earlier with Usyk. Perhaps Michael Hunter fights a Takam or somebody like that, struggles, and then one of the bigger name heavyweights says, yeah, I'll fight him. Underestimates him, ends up losing. Perhaps Michael Hunter gets himself into a mandatory position, you know. But I just do feel between the two of them, they're going to cause some problems. And it's going to shock and surprise a lot of fans out there. That's what I think. I'm serious, deadly serious when I tell you this. Michael Hunter versus Deontay Wilder is a very, very interesting fight. I'm serious. Because Deontay Wilder is a guy who likes stationary opponents. He likes guys who come towards him. When a guy's moving away, you see, Tyson Fury was moving away from Deontay Wilder, and Fury was able to have a lot of success until late in the fight when he started slowing down and getting clipped. Michael Hunter also moves very well, moves faster around the ring than Fury, and is a much smaller target. Now, perhaps he won't be able to take the shots as well as Fury if he does get clipped with a right hand. Perhaps he won't be able to touch Wilder as easily as Fury did. You know, Fury being a very tall man. But I don't know, man. I suspect that it's a very difficult fight for Deontay Wilder. I think it's also a difficult fight for AJ. Yeah. So Michael Hunter, and as far as Andy Ruiz, Michael Hunter actually beat Andy Ruiz in the amateurs. You know, just like Oscar Rivas did. Obviously, it's the amateurs. It's a long time ago. It's only 3 rounds. Over the course of 10 or 12 rounds, it could be different. But yeah, Hunter and Usyk, I think they're going to cause some issues. So I have changed my stance on this because initially I was a little skeptical about them both at heavyweight. But the more I think about it, the more I think, again, I'm not expecting them to dominate, but I am expecting them to cause some upsets. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening about. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.